안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 2020년 스마트 비즈니스 엑스포에 참여해주신 여러분 감사드립니다. 발표를 시작하기 전에 몇 가지 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 저는 이번 세션 사회자로 카이타에서 부회장을 맡고 있는 최현수입니다. 원활한 진행을 위해서 참가자 전원 음소거를 합니다. 발표 중에 질문이 있으신 분들은 채팅창을 통해서 한글 또는 영어로 사회자에게 질문을 해주시면 제가 종합해서 발표 후 질문 시간에 사회자가 발표자에게 대표로 질문하고 답하는 방식으로 진행을 하겠습니다. 발표 내용은 전부 레코딩하고 이벤트 후에 공유될 예정입니다. 발표 중 여러분들의 모습도 같이 레코딩 될 수 있고 공유될 수 있다는 말씀 미리 드립니다. 발표되는 내용과 슬라이드는 달라스 한인상공회의소와 한인IT연합회의 서면 동의 없이는 재사용하거나 공유하실 수 없습니다. 오늘 발표 내용이 필요하시거나 다른 분들과 공유하시기를 원하시는 분들은 달라스 한인상공회의소와 한인IT연합회에 연락해 주시기 바랍니다. 오늘 발표는 Career and Culture at IT and Q&A 패널이라는 내용으로 Red Hat에서 프린시플 테크니컬 마케팅 매니저로 일하고 계시고 지금 미국 보스턴에서 계시는 다니엘 오 님과 레드햇에서 치프 아키텍트로 미국 뉴욕에 계시는 청 킴 님하고 레드햇에서 시니어 컨설턴트로 카이타의 프레지던트 앤 CTO를 맡고 있고 미국 달라스에 있는 브라이언트 손 세 분께서 해 주시겠습니다. 발표는 영어로 진행됩니다. Welcome everyone. Thank you all for joining us today at 2020 Smart Business Expo. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you a few housekeeping items. The moderator for this session is Hyun-Soo Choi, who is the General Manager at KAITA. All participants will be muted throughout the session. Any questions you may have, please use chat window to the moderator, either in English or Korean. The moderator will collect all questions and ask the speakers later in Q&A if time permits. This session will be recorded and shared later. During the session, some of you may be included and shared as part of the entire recording. All contents and slides cannot be used and or shared without JakartaEE and KAITA. If you need any other contents and or slides, please contact JakartaEE and KAITA. Today's session is about career and culture at IT and Q&A panel by three presenters. Daniel O, who is a principal technical marketing manager at Red Hat based out of Boston. Chung Kim, who is a chief architect at Red Hat based out of New York. Bryant, who is a senior consultant at Red Hat and president and CTO of KAITA based out of Dallas. Presentation will proceed in English. Bryant, you can present now.
Thank you. Let me stop sharing and share again. So give me a second. Let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see that.
And can you guys hear me fine? Okay. Cool. So as thanks Mac, the moderator, and he's also our vice president KAITA. So today's session again is going to be the Q&A panel. So like we don't want to spend too much time on the slide, but just to let you know that because it's trying to get more question and then to know what to ask about, right? So today's session is about IT culture and career panel by three people from Red Hat, and they're awesome. So let me proceed. So you guys probably heard what is IT, right? And like this is what this session is about. So it's really meant to like ask you any question and answer. But before we start, let me present three panel speaker. I think it'll be a good idea if each one of you can kind of go around and introduce yourself. I think go for you, Daniel, you go first. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Brian. Hey, my name is Daniel. Thanks for introduction. Real quick. So I'm working for Red Hat as a technical marketing major, which means I try to evangelize many developer and IT operation team to build their own hybrid cloud and a new cloud native architecture based on Red Hat technology, but also a lot of the open source technology and projects. And also, I am responsible for CNCF ambassador. The CNCF is a cloud native computing foundation, which he tried to review all standards, cloud native project like a Kubernetes and Jaeger. And there are a lot of the cloud native project is already reviewed, and we graded that project. And then a lot of enterprise company really love to use that project into their production environment. Okay, so yeah, and also I've been more than 20 years as a developer with a lot of language platform like Java, C, and a lot of the popular and old and new program languages. So yeah, I think that's on me. And if you any question about myself, just reach out to me by Twitter or email or YouTube, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, and there's another session today later at a few hours later, or I go 1 hour later. So
yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, sure.
And Chung Kim.
Thanks, Brian. So, hi, my name is Chung Kim. I'm the chief architect at Red Hat North America Commercial, mostly like a partner solution architecture. I have been with the Red Hat for 2 years. Before Red Hat, I was with IBM for 22 years. So as you see here, I'm a lucky one who has experience in both a leading open source technology company as well as a large legacy IT company. So I hope my experience in both companies can provide some insight of IT careers and culture that you guys are interested in. Nice meeting you, everyone.
Cool.
Back to you, Brian.
Yeah, thanks. And he has also later sessions today, so feel free, please join us. Yeah. So I go next. So I'm a senior consultant at Red Hat. Nice to meet you guys. It's been about 3 years, like a little more than 3 years since I joined Red Hat. But before that, I was in American Airlines, Citi, and different places working as a full stack developer for a long time, mostly in cloud. So I wear many hats, but now I'm wearing the Red Hat. So I wear I was a developer. I've been doing the startup. I did coding in Java and then coding mostly with the website, but many different things. But now I'm mostly focused on the cloud and DevOps because that's my passion right now. I'm certified in the OpenShift and then Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And my role at the Red Hat, I'm actually working at a big customer based on the oil and gas. But before that, I was working with the healthcare and so many different customers. But right now, I'm focused on a platform called OpenShift, which is basically a really cool Kubernetes container-based cloud platform. We can be deployed anywhere. And so that's kind of mostly I work with, but I also work with the different open source technology because that's what really Red Hat is about. So I'm also president at KAITA. I really love to help out people and then also, seeing other people grow and mentor. So we had a session yesterday about KAITA. It was in Korean, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, but we have another one today. So feel free to join us later. I also will give a presentation today and tomorrow. And tomorrow's session will be in English. So let's get started. Again, this is a Q&A panel session. So don't want to spend too much time, or there are some slide in this slide, but mainly leaving for a Q&A panel. So please ask a lot of questions so we can answer. And then they're the expert in here, as you can see. So that's the purpose of this session. So you probably heard of what's IT. Augmented reality, that's AR. Virtual reality, VR. TCP, UDP network, virtual machine, and all those mumbo jumbos. Wait, what is this, right? I guess it's something for nerd. So why IT, right? IT stands for information technology, although IT might mean different for people for different meaning for different people. I mean, to me, IT is about all about technology. I mean, it used to be about term just referred to web and the web-related technology, but now it is covering entire stacks of technologies, what you can do to build and then just develop and create applications and then support, right? So it's not just the meaning about just IT is coding or website. It actually means much, much more than that, at least to me. So why IT, right? Well, first of all, IT job is really the future. There are a lot of it. You've probably heard about fourth industrial revolution, right? And IT jobs really create a lot of really there are a lot of demand. And then, as you can see, and if you have heard about, there are like engineering and coding jobs going to be available a lot. And the fourth industrial revolution is going to eliminate a lot of jobs later, but IT jobs is going opposite direction. It's going to increase more, if not less. So the main thing is that IT job is really cool because if you want to build the cool things, that's what really the IT is for. And then it really enable you to change the world, right? So if you want to create something that, and then I really want to take a step at it and change make a dent in this world, really that IT enable you to do so. So there was like a video from the code.org I saw before, and there was the software engineer who used to work for a big game company called Valve, and then he said this following: easily the coding and programmer are the magicians that can actually create something and then make a magic happen. So you are the you are a magician that can transform the world, and I completely agree with that. What the praise is about. So what at this moment you might think that, well, it's okay. So I heard it was IT, but what is it really for? I mean, I'm not interested in programming and coding, or maybe I am, but maybe I'm not really interested in mathematics or programming or coding or any kind of science. I don't want to go in the direction. So where can I mean, does it really look right for me? So let me show you some of the IT career track you can explore, even if you're not interested in all the coding or the other things. This is just some of the example, not all about it, that what you can do with IT. Well, typical thing is you can become a programmer, and there's multiple different programming languages, right? And this, if you're interested in coding, typical computer science track enable you to do that. But you can also become project manager. For example, like our CFO at KAITA is a product management, and he has a lot of a project with the IT related, but he's more focused on the business side, working with the developer. That's one path you can explore, and then definitely knowing about IT and technology doesn't help, but project manager is another path you can explore, and they really deal with the people skill. And data analyst. Now this is a time for big data, right? And machine learning. So data analysts create a lot of jobs. And if you're interested in dealing with the data and statistics and accounting numbers, right? Even if you don't know about the coding, data analysts provide you and a lot of opportunity for once you graduate out of college. Networking security engineer. While the coding and programmer is more focused on the coding and doing experience and doing repetitive things, right? Network security engineer does require some certificate and more for the professional, but it's also interesting field to give you like a secure job. And then because there's going to be a lot of demand later, as we go into fourth industrial revolution, there is going to be a lot of networking security. Is going to be tremendously important later. Consulting, that's the field I'm in. I travel often. I work with multiple clients, and I decide to go in consulting because I want to put one foot on business side, on one foot on technology side. I still do code a lot. I still build a lot of solutions with the technology stacks and open source, mostly from Red Hat. But consulting enables to see what is ahead and thinking from the business perspective. So it's really cool. Solution architect. I know that Daniel was a solution architect like before now became principal technical marketing manager. Really interesting the path. It's kind of related to sales, but sometimes it can be very technical. So it's like building the solution and making it happen. DevOps engineer. It's related to the cloud. So now like a lead age of a DevOps, because with the cloud, naturally follow the DevOps track. You need to build a pipeline. You need to automate things. That's what all the DevOps is about, developer and operation. Technical marketing, that's what the Daniel's doing, and is a basically evangelist for the tech. Really awesome. You can ask him more about it. SQL developer, if you're interested in, like, I want to be a database developer, or, there's no SQL, whatever, there's a lot of opportunity in SQL developer as well. QA and tester, if you're really meticulous about, I need to get this right thing, I need to get it perfect, right? You use QA and tester provide that opportunity for that, because every code and every technology, if you look at Tesla, it's going to fail if there's not enough QA and tester. As the code become more and more complicated, application become more and more complicated, QA and testing become enormously important as well. Researcher, I want to do the next, like Google search engine, or I want to do the next, build the next, I don't know, really complex AI machine learning. Researcher provide a lot of opportunity for that. An interesting idea, like a Google X, and made a lot of interesting idea in blockchain, content computing. Those things are, you can work at the very frontier doing the interesting thing with the research and development. Designer, so you're on the more creative side, and then you can create a beautiful UI, UX, and then beautiful design. That's also fit into IT as well, at least in my opinion. And there's much, much more. So typical IT career progress path is different from one to another, but this is kind of not just for the IT career, it can work for any IT career progress, right? So usually that when you start and graduate out of college, right? Usually this is just typical from a software perspective, but it can be applied in any other field as well. Usually good at one thing, right? Coding, Java. You need a mentorship from the team, but really passionate about working and delivering, right? That's what is expected from junior developer or junior, analyst or whatever. Intermediates, you get some experience, so know the various technology stack, but you actually play with the team. When you're in school, usually you can work mostly by yourself. Sometimes you have a group project, but you really don't expect it to finish everything and know everything. And then you can mostly finish the homework or tasks by yourself. But when you join a company, you have to be a team player. You have to know how to navigate around the different teams in department and technology stack. And the expectation is by this time, you have to help other people. You have to help junior level and work collaboratively, right? When you get to become senior level, senior developer or senior analyst or senior project manager, whatever, you're expected as an expert in multiple domains, not just one. And you have to proactively mentor others to grow. You have to be a team mentor. You have to mentor many developers in the team. So you have to, people trust you because you're supposed to be like someone to look into. And then if you ask a question to a senior developer or senior person, they can answer the question and help you out. When you become tech lead, when you go to the next step, you kind of have a decision where you want to go. Do you want to be more still going to tech part, or do you want to become more the manager part or people manager part? So that really depends on you, because before that, before tech lead or manager, you are working mostly with the practical skill. Your calendar, when you look at your event calendar, most likely you're going to have a 20-50% meetings. By this time, when you become tech lead or manager, 80%, 70% will fill with the meetings, right? So now you have to decide, do you still want to focus on tech track or the people manager? Whatever you choose, really you have to deal with the people and you have to become the leader in that. So keep that in mind. So I kind of borrowed this from like a lot of slides from the Daniel. So thanks for doing that. But this is just some example, like a lot, this is just example of open source technology that Red Hat dealing with. And there are much, much more. This is really infinite of it, right? And if you just look at the tremendous growth of a technology right now is unbelievable, right? And this is again just a sample stack and sample example, but you can expect that there's much, much more. So whatever you want to do, the point here is meaning that whatever you want to do, whatever you're passionate about, there is a technology available for that. That's the key point. So now IT technology is not just about being a geek and nerd, as you saw, there's many positions available, right? To me, IT can be an art. as we go into fourth industrial revolution, what really matters is creativity, right? So if you're creative, you really have to be creative, and that it requires creativity. And IT is also about sharing and caring. So when you start working with a team, you share knowledge, right? When you make a contribution to the community through the GitHub or open source and different things, it becomes a sharing and caring. You probably heard that Microsoft was used to be proprietary technology and software, right? License, right? But now they're more into open source is the right way. And then developers and technology people want it to be that way. So now as we go into the future, sharing and caring and then open source will be the actual de facto standard that we need. So what the culture is like at the IT company, right? So you probably heard Google, hey, there's a company that was a lot of awesome culture and whatever, but a lot of IT companies have that. They have a ping pong table, they have a football table, they have a massage chairs and a bunch of things, right? And so there are like a lot of perk and benefit definitely associated with the IT, some in startups. So you can expect it's going to be like a 9 to 5 job, but mostly it's based on project. Meaning that as long as you finish the project, you will have a flexibility on what you want to do later. So to me, this is from the Lion King, you guys know, it's called Hakuna Matata, right? Literally that you can enjoy, is job you can truly enjoy. Whatever you choose, you are building things. This is truly the job that you can enjoy and then getting paid at the same time. And free snacks and free food, Google has that, Facebook has that, and a lot of IT company had that. Like Red Hat doesn't really have that, but we also have a free snacks and drink. So a lot of IT company, when you come in, you expect to have that because IT company know that treating employees the right way will be the really way to make the company to be successful. They really invest in employees because they think is the right way of doing so. And this is the picture, some of the photos I actually personally took from something called Red Hat Tech Exchange last year. And this time it was virtual because every other conference, it was due to coronavirus, but it will probably happen again next year, hopefully. It was in October, it was in Halloween time. We got invited to Orlando Universal Studio and then many different places for one almost entire week. And Daniel was there too, and then I met him there. So we had an entire hotel booked for us, and then we had like a lot of things, and we had like a Universal Studio booked for one day, and we went to a lot of fun activity. Idea was we wanted to give the employees, and then there was a speaker session, and there was a conference, and then a lot of workshop. But the idea is that we also networked together and then treat people for all the work we did. So it was really awesome. It was really awesome in 1 week. And then we had a lot of things and a lot of drink, a lot of food, and then a lot of way to network together. So Red Hat also has an awesome culture. So what is the job opportunities like? So, okay, so also all good. I mean, I agree that everything is good. But what is the job opportunities like for IT, if you work in IT, right? Because that's what matters. Can I even get a job? If you're in college, that's your probably most biggest concern, right? Can I get a job later once I graduate out of college? Well, so this is a job change in the future, I guess, from the McKinsey and company, which is famous management consulting. So recently started released by McKinsey Global Institute report that roughly 1/5 of global workforce will be impacted by adoption of AI, that's artificial intelligence, and automation, with the most significant impact in developed nations like UK, United Kingdom, Germany, and United States. By 2022, 50% of companies believe that automation will decrease the numbers of full-time staff, and by 2030, robots will replace 800 million workers across the world. This is a fact. This is a lot of studies agree with that. So the question is, do we really have more jobs or less jobs? But if you're in IT, you don't really have to worry about it, because as long as you're in IT, you know more jobs will be created for us. It's a sad fact for the people who are not in IT, but I think that for us, in people in IT, there's a lot of opportunity, if not less. So there's a lot of demand for IT jobs than the actual what is getting supplied. There's a lack of a IT worker force. So that 1 million more jobs than student by 2020. So there's a 500 million opportunity. Companies in IT are actively hiring, even though now, even in the coronavirus pandemic time. This will be the continuous pattern you will see in years and years from now. So almost done. So we're going to Q&A panel. I think this is the last one. So typical salary. Okay, so can I even get money? Well, I guess it's depending what you want. Do I want to be a lawyer? Do you want to be like a dentist or a doctor? Yeah, you get paid a lot of money probably. But average salary at the IT company is pretty decent. If sometimes always as good as a doctor and lawyer. And again, there's a lot of demand. If you just go into any like a company in like Silicon Valley, like, like Yahoo, Google, well, I guess Yahoo is kind of a little different now, but Google, Twitter, and Apple, many things, they are like usually average salary, almost like minimum right now. Is looking at the different source, you might get different statistic, but usually get like a 6-digit salary when most in Silicon Valley area. Typical, even if you're not in Silicon Valley, and most of the big companies, you get expected to pay like 50 to 100K range. So I would just say that's really, really good. So wrapping it up, jumping into Q&A panel. So I hope you're, after seeing this slide and after talking to us, I hope that they kind of change your mind to be more interested in IT. So yeah, that's it. Let me stop sharing and change it to Q&A slide.
지금부터 Q&A 시간을 가져보도록 하겠습니다. 패널로 참석해 주신 분들은 질문을 제가 모아서 대표로 질문을 해드리는 쪽으로 진행을 하겠습니다. Q&A 시간에는 오늘 참석해 주신 분들의 질문과 저희가 미리 받아둔 질문을 제가 대표로 패널 분들께 영어로 질문을 먼저 하고요. 그리고 한국어로 질문을 다시 반복하겠습니다. 패널 분들은 영어나 한국어 편하신 대로 답을 해주시면 됩니다. 패널 분들의 영어 대답은 한국어 대답은 영어로 통역하지 않습니다. 제가 통역을 할 역량이 되지 못하기 때문에 통역을 해드리지는 못하고, 대신 오늘 참석하신 분들 중에 패널 분들의 대답을 조금 더 구체적으로 알고 싶으시면 contact@kaita.org로 연락을 주시면 저희가 자세히 도와드리도록 하겠습니다. During Q&A, questions from audience and pre-collected questions will be asked to the panel in English first, then in Korean. The panel can answer either in English or Korean, whichever preferred. The panel's answer in English or in Korean will not be translated. Even though anyone wants to know more about the panel's answer in details, please contact us at contact@kaita.org. 질문이 지금 오늘 참석해 주신 분들한테 질문이 아직은 없습니다. 그래서 저희가 미리 모아놨던 질문을 조금 먼저 진행을 해보도록 하겠습니다. 첫 번째 질문이 제일 많이 질문이 들어오고 있는 부분이긴 한데, 제가 영어로 먼저 패널께 질문을 드리고 한국어로 질문을 반복하겠습니다. There are lots of students and Korean professionals looking for jobs in the US. Considering current immigration and the visa situation, how you think of a job market for people who need visa sponsorship? 지금 학교에 있는 분들과 한국에서 IT 일을 하고 계시는 분들이 미국에 취업을 하려고 노력을 하는 분들이 많이 계십니다. 지금 미국의 이민법 그리고 비자 상황을 감안해서 비자 스폰서가 필요한 분들의 미국 취업 상황을 어떻게 보시나요?
Does anyone want to take a stab at it? Chung or Daniel?
Brian, you go ahead.
Okay. So my perspective, really depending on the more on the United States policy and governance, right? I mean, I don't know what is the result right now looking at my election poll. I mean, the election result, I think it's not decided yet. So, I mean, this is not just about like, you know, what is like the college company is doing, and a lot of things are the becoming factor in this time. So I would say that, so there's one thing that we cannot control, that's external factor, is that what is going to be the United States policy like. Because if you're looking at just United States job, a lot of things will be decided and determined by United States government. And as far as, like, you know, so again, from the IT job perspective, but still there will be a lot of demands, meaning that as long as a company can sponsor, there will be opportunity available for sure. The question is, how big is a pool, right? If you, for example, when I was in university and I went to the career fair, like Career Expo, they all, like, with a lot of company came in. I was originally used to be aerospace engineer, and then I went to the engineering career fair, and I was looking for aerospace job, and I was not a United States citizen at the time. I almost couldn't apply anywhere because, well, that's not the reason why I chose aerospace engineer, but because there's only the jobs, that few jobs available for aerospace, even less job for non-citizen job. Of course, then later I chose to do a major in computer science. Of course, that's not the reason why I decided to do a major. It was a different reason, a long story. But then when I went to career fair for natural science and engineering, there are like 100, some 20, 30 company coming in every year for 2 times per year. All the company was hiring computer science. And you know that Amazon, Microsoft, those companies can sponsor, and there will be a lot of company can do as well. Of course, then it's all coming back to United States policy. If the United States say that, government say that, well, we cannot really hire, like, it's in the league, give it like a tough time for companies to hire international and sponsor visa, right? That's going to be difficult for sure. But as long as company does want to hire people, and most good company want to hire people who are good, and typically I think there are a lot of opportunity for IT because there will be a lot of demand. And then as long as you're, you know, you're excellent and doing good job, there will definitely a lot of opportunity available in IT. And you want to take further step? Daniel, Chung?
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Brian. And then I think there are so multiple ways to get a job in the United States, regardless of your visa status. And then another way, for my case, I've been working in South Korea for many years. And then when I joined the Red Hat, and there are lots of opportunity to transfer the another country, like the United States and Australia, or even England and the UK, whatever you need. Because whenever you are ready to have some good experience and expertise on your specialty in that job, and then a lot of IT company always open up the new chance and opportunity, give some more to transfer your location, whatever you want to go. So that is another way to get some job more stable way. I think that, yeah, so I totally agree with that, Bryant, the opinion as well.
다음 질문을 해보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 참석해주신 어디언스 분 중에 한 분이 질문을 해주셨는데, 아까 슬라이드 발표 중에도 잠깐 언급이 있었지만 브라이언트가 다양한 IT 직업군에 대해서 얘기를 해줬는데, 어카운팅하고 관련된 IT 쪽 일이 어떤 부분이 있는지 질문을 해오셨어요. So their audience asked a question about the IT jobs related to accounting. How you guys think of it?
Anyone want to go? I guess I can take a step again. 한국말 하는 게 나은 것 같네요. 보자. 어카운팅 관련 IT 쪽. 제 생각에는 뭐 저도 모든 분야를 다 알지는 못하지만 어카운팅 같은 경우는 아마 그 디렉트, 그냥 결국은 이거를 직장을 봤을 때 이게 정말 직접적인 관련이 있는지 아니면 간접적인 관련이 있는지 두 가지 봐야 되잖아요. 직접적인 관련된 거는 사실은 찾아보기는 힘들 수 있어요. 근데 저 같은 경우는 에어로스페이스 엔지니어를 우주항공공학 또 했다고 했잖아요. 그거를 지금 당장 쓰진 않고 있는데 에어로스페이스가 한 가지 특이한 게 뭐냐면 지금 그때 썼던 게 분석을 하고 글을 적고 발표를 하는 게 컴퓨터 사이언스 거의 없었는데 에어로스페이스는 그게 굉장히 많았었어요. 처음에 제가 굉장히 발표도 못하고 뭐 그런 거 저 페이퍼를 못했는데 컴퓨터 사이언스는 이거 좀 다 많이 안 했거든요. 그래서 그거를 거기 에어로스페이스 했었던 게 되게 조금 훈련이 되고 그게 좀 장점이 됐었나 봐요. 왜냐면 그걸 분석하고 글을 적고 이런 게 그 리포트 글을 적어야 되니까 막 늦게까지 3시까지 막 새벽 3시까지 하면서 글을 적고 하는 게 막 데이터를 그리고 분석을 하고 그래서 그게 나중에 돌려봤을 때 회사에서 일했을 때 그게 간접적으로 도움이 되더라고요. 그런 면을 바라볼 수도 있고 어카운팅이나 이런 같은 경우는 결국은 잘한다는 거는 물론은 그 모든 스킬이라는 게 결국 훈련만 되면 다른 곳에 금방 적용될 수 있는 경우 많잖아요. 처음부터 배우는 게 아니라. 그래서 어카운팅에 대한 직접적인 거는 뭐 잘 모르지만 만약에 거기에 있는 어카운팅 같은 경우를 한다는 거는 내가 정말 세부적으로 보고 꼼꼼하게 하는 걸 잘한다는 거고 그게 쓸 수 있는 분야들은 상당히 관련이 있는 것 같아요. 또 다른 차원으로 보면 데이터 쪽이나 그런 쪽도 많이 이런 어카운팅 같은 게 좀 왜냐면 데이터 같은 경우는 물론 지금은 뭐 BI, 비즈니스 인텔리전스나 다양한 게 있지만 그런 게 좀 본다는 것 자체가 좀 데이터를 분석하는 관련이 있는 것 같고요. 제가 아메리칸 에어라인에 일을 했을 때 레베뉴 매니지먼트 관련된 부서와 일한 적이 있는데 그쪽에 봤을 때 뭐 그런 엑셀이나 그런 데이터를 먼저 본 다음에 그거를 데이터나 사스나 이런 걸 통해서 적용을 하거든요. 그래서 그런 식의 데이터가 엑셀에 있을 수 있고 파일에 있을 수 있고 데이터베이스, 뭐 테라데이터 같은 데이터베이스에 있는데 그걸 분석을 하는 건 상당히 중요한 것 같아요. 그리고 계산을 돌리고 그런 식으로 볼 수도 있고 또 카운팅에 관련된 소프트웨어 개발직도 있긴 있죠. 예를 들어서 뭐 인투잇이나 뭐 예를 들어서 어떤 그런 소프트웨어 회사들의 어카운팅에 포커스한 회사들이 있거든요. 조금 다른 분야이긴 하지만 만약 어카운팅에 관심을 가진다면 그걸 다르게 돌려서 그런 회사들한테 관심을 가지는 것도 가능한 거네요. 다른 분 저 더 할 분 있나요? 혹시?
제가 좀 더해서 얘기해 드릴게요. 만약에
네.
제가 지금 어떤 스킬을 여쭤보시는 분이 어떤 스킬을 갖고 있는지는 잘 모르겠지만 제가 볼 때는 적어도 3가지 정도의 커리어 파트가 있다고 봐요. 아까 브라이언이 말한 것처럼 어카운팅 소프트웨어를 만드는 회사에서 직접 일할 수 있죠. 아까 인투이션이라든지 뭐 터보텍스라든지 소프트웨어 디벨로퍼로 일할 수 있는 경우도 있겠고 또 다른 경우는 이제 컨설팅 사이드에서 일할 수가 있을 거예요. 아까 브라이언이 보인 12가지의 잡 중에 비즈니스 애널리스트가 있었는지 없었는지 모르겠는데 무슨 프로젝트를 진행하려면은 물론 테크놀로지 쪽에서 디벨롭먼트 하는 사람의 스킬도 필요하지만 그 인더스트리를 잘 알고 있는 그런 비즈니스 애널리스트들이 필요하거든요. 예를 들어서 뭐 KPMG라든지 뭐 딜로이트라든지 그런 어카운팅 펌이 제 커스터머면은 그 사람들이 하는 말을 알아야 되고 그 사람들의 비즈니스를 알아야 되기 때문에 그 인더스트리 나머지 있는 사람들을 비즈니스 애널리스트로 하이어해가지고 저 프로젝트에서 러닝하게끔 해요. 그래서 그 비즈니스 리퀘어먼트 게더링하고 거기에 맞춰서 블루프린트 만들어서 딜리버리 하는 거죠. 그러니까 그런 롤도 있겠고 또 다른 경우는 아까 프로젝트 매니저라는 롤이 아마 거기에 있었을 텐데 IT에서 프로젝트가 작을 때는 괜찮은데 프로젝트 규모가 커질수록요. 예를 들어서 제가 러닝하는 프로젝트 500명짜리예요. 그럼 이 500명이 이거를 관리하기가 되게 힘들어요. 물론 프로젝트 매니지먼트 팀이 있었고 하지만 그 팀 안에서 거기에서 쓰는 버젯이라든지 무슨 파이낸셜 정보들을 관리해야 되는 그런 파이낸셜 스페셜리스트가 필요하거든요. 그럼 그런 큰 IT 프로젝트에 파이낸셜 애널리스트가 들어가서 도움을 줄 수도 있는 것 같아요.
Okay. I guess yep. 감사합니다.
그러면 다음 질문으로 넘어가 보겠습니다. 아까 질문 드린 거하고 연장선상에 있는 질문인 것 같은데 미국에서 취업을 하기 위해서 어떤 부분들을 준비하면 좋을까라는 질문이 있었습니다. People who need a visa sponsorship in the U.S., what they may be prepared.
business sponsorship이라. So that's a question in English, right? Okay.
That the people who need visa sponsorship in the U.S., what they may prepare to better prepare for the jobs, get a job in the US.
I guess anyone that's take a step first, right, can go, or I don't know.
Let me step up, Brian. So I think it is very related to what the first question Brian answered, but I think it is matter of demand and supply. No matter what your visa status, if you have a unique skills or unique capability, which is very attractive to the customers or your company to hire, right? Then no matter what your visa status, they're gonna hire you. So it is kind of a very high level kind of answer to you guys, but if you make yourself as outstanding among the people in your market or your industry, then no matter what, the company gonna hire you. So I think that's the first thing, but again, it's easy to say that, but it's hard to do it. But I can say that unique skills, like a skill set you have, somebody doesn't have it, I think that's the key to be hired by US company, doesn't matter what visa status you have. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Oh, no, same thing. I mean, I would just say that like it's really depending on where you're right now and situation you're in and what is your situation. So really depending on your situation, it really matters. I mean, there's can be different answer, but as Chung mentioned that really supply and demand. And as for this demand part of the job for IT, there will be a lot of demand for sure. The question is that given all the circumstance, which is a circumstance for the government or the United States or this country, and plus there is a circumstance with your situation, right? Are you in school? Are you in like the actual working force? Are you trying to in Korea right now, trying to migrate there, visa sponsorship, what is it is, right? So, I mean, I believe that what the key distinction is that one of the things I talked about in my presentation was, which is called industrial revolution, is that are you being proactive or reactive? Like how I think that when people are in school, they tended to think that I just need to, get a good job and go some party and then do whatever, right? But now the key is it's really about how you spend the time. Like as if you're working with, if you create a portfolio, if you get an internship, if you get an experience, your likelihood of getting higher and then doing the best, becoming better and better. So really, you have to look at your situation right now, and because you have to assume with a good intention, right? Meaning that if you, as long as you're doing a good job, and you guys doing like a comparatively, it's relatively among other people, as long as you're doing a good job and doing your best, and then actually trying many possible applied jobs and build your resume, I believe that you will be in a better position and good position that where you will get the job and getting sponsored eventually. Of course, that situation can rapidly change, and that's an unfortunate fact of the external fact that you cannot control. But look at what you can control, what you can do in the meantime to improve your chance of getting higher and becoming better, and then in the next
So I was just wondering, I actually chime in, speaking of outstanding, make your skill set as outstanding stuff. So maybe you have to consider how to increase your capability or visibility in a lot of IT company. So maybe open source is one of a good way or a better way to increase your visibility outwards. For example, if you introduce some specific open source tool or project, and then in the end you want to work some IT company with that technology, maybe you need to keep contributing that open source project, like even from user, but now maybe you can add some PR or create issue to contribute and commit to the project. And also you can write some article to share your experience and knowledge based on that technology. It's all kind of activities will make you a more valuable or outstandable person. And then social media as well. And then the IT company can find you, okay, this guy is really fit in my new opportunity, my job, and then maybe they can give you some new chance to work from United States or any other country with some visa sponsorship as well.
Just to time check, it's 11:45. Do we have time to take more questions, or do we have a hard stop?
Yep. How do you wanna go? It's up to you guys. I know you guys are busy. You guys wanna continue for another few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, or time for that, or how do you?
I can stay for another 10 minutes if you guys don't mind.
So 10 minutes, yeah. So we'll take a quick question.
I will go on another question here that for people in school majoring non-computer science or IT related, the boot camp is something to consider. It may be something related to the earlier question regarding the accounting related IT field. That may be some also relate to the people in school majoring in non-computer science and non-IT related. The bootcamp programs may be something they should consider or not. 현재 학교에서 전공은 컴퓨터 사이언스나 IT 관련 쪽 전공이 아닌데 졸업을 앞둔 상황입니다. 학교에서 배우기는 너무 늦었고 붓캠프를 신청하는 것은 어떨까요? 라는 질문이 있었습니다.
Yeah, I can take that one first, if you don't mind. So the short answer is yes, I strongly recommend that thing. So according to my previous answer, so a lot of IT company, I really want to some people who already get ready to work, maybe first day, not try to teaching you about new IT technology or their product. And of course, they give some time to catch up their own product technology in their company, but still they're looking for some people who really get ready to work right away. So in order to give some evidence around that thing, maybe bootcamp a really good chance to catch up that some IT technology in the short term. Regardless of what you run in the United States, the university or college. So boot camp or some the grouping or short pilot project, maybe 3 months or just 1 month or like a hackathon or some hackfest. And during that experience, you got some more official experience and knowledge, and then you can prove your readiness for that company where you want to apply for your job.
Yeah, let me add one thing. Thanks, Daniel. So I can actually relate to one, because I didn't have any idea what the bootcamp is about, because every situation. It was popular, started in Silicon Valley, mostly, I think. Maybe in Korea, different places, but I know it started in Silicon Valley and expanded and become popular. So we separate thing, but when the KAITA, Korean American IT Association, I fly to San Francisco, California to meet the members there. And then I think when I joined there, there's about 8 people total. We met at a restaurant. And then there's one member who is not even get a major in any IT or engineering related degree, but she was looking for a job in IT, maybe considering it, right? And so she was asking the same question, is it a good idea? Because I have a choice. I can just go and study and go to graduate school, or do I want to go into the boot camp, right? At the time, I didn't have any idea what boot camp is about. I heard about it, but among us, at the time when the boot camp was actually starting, right, it was not getting popular as it right now. So most of us answered the question like a little, not sure, but boot camp is probably a better idea to go to graduate school, right? And that's kind of my similar idea, but you should look into that. And boot camp was costing a lot of money, like almost close to college tuition, right? And then you have to recommit to it. And then you can actually, if you don't pass test, or if you don't actually if you don't make it, you can fail, and then you are not going to make it, right? But after a while later, and then we stay in contact, KAITA was staying in contact with her, and I heard the good news. She shared the good news throughout, like I said, his channel. She said she got a job, And it was not just any job. She got a job after finishing boot camp. She got a job in software or business analyst position in Bain & Capital. That's one of the top 3 management consulting firm. So I think that definitely there's ways to prepare for the job with the boot camp. But again, I think that so really what matters though is that I believe, even though I don't know what boot camp exactly offer, it might be good intense course offering networking opportunity. And that's what really is about. If you know how to network, if you can expand your networking, that really become the matter, so you have to know how to expand your network. Yeah. So I think we can take one more question. And
right, I will go on last question.
Yeah, and then wrap it up.
Is it all right to change jobs in short period of time, like a year or so? And that answer may apply to new hire, junior, and senior level positions. 1년도 안 돼서 직장을 바꾸는 것에 대해서 어떻게 생각을 하시나요? 짧은 시간에 직장을 바꾸는 것이 신입사원 또는 2년에서 4년 차 정도의 주니어, 5년 이상의 시니어 포지션에 따라서 다를 수 있을까요?
Tough question. Yeah, maybe I can take it first. I think it doesn't matter the time period, but it's more important thing is what is your motivation and the vision when you change your job, maybe even less than 6 months or just 1 year. If you find more some new job and then that it really match to your vision for next 3 years, for next 5 years, and then that job maybe help you out to increase your capability for your next 10 years or next 5 years, maybe you should change the job. But if you find some job just give you some more money, like a salary, I don't think it's a good idea to change your job just 1 year. And I think once again, the more important thing is the vision and the job responsibility and the career path rather than the money or some the period of time, etc.
제가 볼 때는 브라이언하고 저도 동의를 하는데 동의 안 하는 쪽도 있어요. 만약에 제가 저희 팀 멤버를 하이어하는데 한 사람은 6개월 만에 잡을 바꾸는 사람께 보이고 어떤 사람은 1년 반 한 다음에 잡을 바꾸면 제가 볼 때는 1년 반 했던 사람들한테 더 많은 어텐션을 줄 것 같아요. 그 이유가 물론 테크니컬 스킬스 되게 중요하죠. 하지만은 그 사람이 그 오르게니제이션에서 어떻게 서바이브 하는지 아니면 팀워크가 어떤지는 그 사람들이 어느 정도 있어야지 이게 나오는데 6개월 갖고는 제가 보기에는 너무 짧다고 봐요. 그래서 적어도 1년 내지 1년 반 이상은 미니멈으로 그 오르게니제이션에서 get along 하고 또 다른 잡을 옮기는 거. 모르겠어요. 제 관점에서 볼 때는 저는 그런 걸 보는 것 같아요. 제가 저희 팀 멤버들 하이할 때는 적어도 1년 이상은 그 전 회사에서 있었던 사람을 더 프리퍼하는 것 같아요. Brian, any?
No, I think that you are right. I think that's definitely like based on I think Silicon Valley and some might be different, but I would just say that if you just 6 months and then change the job, I mean, so it's really depending on company to company, but I would just say it's kind of hard to see. Maybe first thing I would see, because I did a lot of panel before for Red Hat and City and then different places. I would just think that's kind of meaning like, why are you changing job from job? One time I was reviewing the resume. I think he was he eventually got hired at the company, but looking at the resume and it was changing job like every few months and looking at it for like why, and then I asked the question to the interviewee, right? Why did you do that? And then I guess it's just that to me, it seems like that was not really a good sign because it's kind of showing that something definitely going to be questionable. But as long as you can demonstrate, if you think you're good, you might have a situation, if you can demonstrate that, that's understandable. But note that if you have pre-sent a resume like that, definitely might be raising the question from the interviewer if you did get the interview. Yeah. I think we can wrap it up. Yep.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. And 오늘 Bryant, okay, thank you. 오늘 참여해주신 여러분들과 발표해주신 Daniel O, Chung Kim, Bryant, 성원님께 감사드립니다. 앞에서 말씀드린 대로 이 세션은 레코딩되어 다양한 방법으로 나눌 예정입니다. 오늘 세션을 다시 보고 싶으시거나 못 보신 세션이 있으시면 레코딩된 세션으로 확인해 보실 수 있습니다. 오늘 멋진 2020년 스마트 비즈니스 엑스포를 준비해 주신 달라스 한인 상공회의소와 세미나에 도움을 주신 카이타 여러분들께 감사드리며 달라스 한인 상공회의소와 카이타에 대해 더 알고 싶고 궁금하신 점이 있으시면 달라스 한인 상공회의소 웹사이트와 카카오톡, 페이스북, 링크드인, 인스타그램, 유튜브 등등의 다양한 SNS 채널과 카이타 웹사이트 또는 contact@kaita.org로 연락 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 또한 kaita.org 웹사이트에 등록하시면 카이타의 활동을 뉴스레터로 받아보실 수 있습니다. 다른 세션에도 많은 참여 부탁드립니다. 여러분 감사합니다. Thank you all for attending this session and thank you Daniel O, Chung Kim, Bryant Stone for presenting this session. Today's session has been recorded and will be shared via various ways. If you want to watch today's session again or sessions that you have missed, please check for recorded sessions later. Special thanks to Greater Dallas Korean American Chamber of Commerce and KAITA staff to prepare this wonderful 2020 Smart Business Expo in these hard times. Please visit koreanchamber.org for more information about GDKACC, and please join KAITA through KakaoTalk, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, or email us at contact@kaita.org if you have any questions. Thank you all again for your participation, and please join us for other sessions. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye.